This wealthy man is transferring his power of attorney to your name because you're unaware he is your. Open by January 12th or he'll donate it ale. My beloved child. Come closer in spirit, and listen slowly, because these words were never meant to rush toward you. They were meant to find you. You did not click this by accident. You did not arrive here by chance. Even your confusion right now is part of the path that was carefully laid out for you long before you learned how to question life. My beloved child. There is a truth moving toward you, and it has been moving quietly for a very long time. It did not announce itself. It did not demand your attention. It waited patiently, watching you live, struggle, doubt, and still continue. And now, the time has come for that truth to gently step into your awareness. You see, there are moments in life when destiny does not knock loudly. It whispers. And only the soul that has been prepared by hardship can hear it. My beloved child. You have always felt that something about your life did not fully make sense. Not in a painful way, but in a deep, silent way. As if pieces were missing. As if some invisible hand kept guiding you away from certain doors and toward others you never planned to open. You may have blamed luck, coincidence, or timing. But it was never random. There is a man you do not truly know. A man of great wealth, yes, but more importantly, a man of great silence. He learned long ago that power does not shout. It waits. And for years, he has watched from a distance, never interfering, never revealing himself, never stepping across the boundary that destiny itself had drawn. You are unaware of who he truly is to you. Not because you were unworthy of the truth, but because the truth would have been too heavy for the version of you that existed back then. My beloved child. There are seasons in life when knowing too much too early can break us. So protection often comes disguised as ignorance. This man carries a legal document in his hands. A simple stack of papers, cold and formal to the outside world. They call it power of attorney. To lawyers, it is authority. To banks, it is control. To systems, it is permission. But to him, it is something far more intimate. It is trust. And that trust is being prepared for your name. You do not know this yet. You are living your life, focused on surviving, improving, healing, becoming. You are not counting someone else's wealth. You are not waiting for someone else's legacy. And that is precisely why destiny chose you. My beloved child. He knows time is no longer patient with him. He feels it in the quiet moments, when rooms feel larger than they used to, when silence stays longer than expected. He knows that by January 12th, a decision must be finalized. Not later. Not someday. A fixed moment. And if that moment passes without resolution, everything he built, everything he protected, everything he intended for a specific soul, will be given away. Donated. Dissolved into places where meaning will be lost. Not because he wants that, but because systems do not understand destiny. My beloved child. You may wonder why such responsibility would be placed on someone who is still discovering their own strength. But that is exactly how destiny works. It does not wait for perfection. It waits for alignment. You were never meant to chase this inheritance. It was meant to recognize you. There were signs along the way. Moments when strangers trusted you instantly. Times when people handed you responsibility without fully knowing why. Situations where others saw leadership in you before you saw it in yourself. You thought it was coincidence. It was preparation. This man has seen you in ways you cannot imagine. Not through obsession, but through observation. Through stories told quietly. Through records, yes, but also through intuition. Through the unexplainable pull that told him, this soul carries my truth forward. My beloved child. He is not transferring power because of blood alone. He is transferring it because of character. There is something in you that cannot be taught. Something steady. Something incorruptible. You have been tested without knowing the exam existed. You have chosen honesty when dishonesty would have been easier. You have chosen restraint when revenge would have felt satisfying. And every one of those unseen choices was noted by destiny itself. Still, you remain unaware. And that is the most painful part for him. Because he cannot reveal himself directly. Not yet. The timing must be exact. The realization must awaken naturally, not be forced. Truth that arrives too abruptly can feel like betrayal, even when it is love. My beloved child. Have you ever felt that your life was being watched over, even when things went wrong? That some losses, though painful, strangely protected you from something worse? That some delays saved you from paths that would have damaged you? That was not luck. He made sure you were not overwhelmed. He made sure your growth remained your own. He made sure your strength belonged to you, not to his influence. And now, as January 12th approaches, the quiet is growing heavier. Time does not threaten, it simply moves. The papers are prepared. The option to donate everything sits like a shadow in the room. Not as punishment, but as protocol. My beloved child. This message is not here to scare you. It is here to wake you. There is a reason you are hearing this now. There is a reason your heart feels slightly unsettled as you listen. There is a reason your mind keeps replaying certain words. Awareness is beginning. You do not need to run. You do not need to force answers. You only need to remain open. Because the moment you become aware of who you truly are to him, everything changes. The authority being transferred is not about money alone. It is about guardianship. About protecting what cannot protect itself. About continuing something that was never meant to end abruptly. He believes you will not misuse it. He believes you will not be consumed by it. My beloved child. You were chosen not for your ambition, but for your balance. There will be a moment, soon, when something small triggers a great realization. A name. A document. A conversation. A sudden clarity that makes your past rearrange itself into sense. And when that moment arrives, you will understand why this had to unfold exactly this way. Until then, stay grounded. Stay humble. Stay aware. Because destiny is not rushing you. It is aligning you. And this is only the beginning. My beloved child. Now that the truth has begun to stir inside you, it may feel unfamiliar, like waking up in a room you somehow recognize but cannot yet name. Do not be afraid of this feeling. It is not confusion. It is remembrance beginning its slow return. You may notice your thoughts drifting back through moments of your life that once felt random. Little scenes replaying quietly, conversations you dismissed, chances that slipped past you, people who entered and exited your life without explanation. They are not resurfacing to disturb you. They are resurfacing to prepare you. Because awareness changes everything. My beloved child. The man who holds this decision in his hands has lived a life shaped by discipline and solitude. Wealth did not come to him suddenly. It arrived through years of restraint, sacrifice, and choices that isolated him from ordinary comfort. Power taught him one thing above all else: most people want control, but very few are ready to carry responsibility. That is why he waited. He watched many people fail tests they never knew they were taking. He watched greed reveal itself early. He watched impatience ruin potential. And when he learned of you, when your existence reached his awareness, he did not act immediately. Destiny never acts impulsively. He observed quietly. My beloved child. You were not impressive in the way the world defines impressive. You were not loud. You were not chasing recognition. You were simply becoming. And that was what caught his attention. Growth without audience. Strength without display. You endured moments where help should have arrived but did not. Times when you stood alone, carrying burdens that were never meant for one soul. And yet, you did not harden into bitterness. You softened into understanding. That choice mattered more than you know. There were nights when you questioned your worth. When you wondered why effort did not always bring reward. When you felt unseen. Those moments were not ignored. They were witnessed. My beloved child. There is something sacred about perseverance without guarantee. As September 23rd draws closer, the man feels urgency not because of fear, but because of clarity. He understands that systems require deadlines. Documents require signatures. The world demands certainty. But destiny does not operate on paperwork alone. It waits for alignment between heart and awareness. He knows you are close. Close to realizing that your life has never been as small as it sometimes felt. Still, he hesitates. Not because he doubts you, but because revelation changes people. He has seen how sudden power can distort even gentle souls. How inheritance can awaken shadows alongside blessings. And so he waits for the moment when your spirit feels ready, not just your circumstances. My beloved child. You may already feel a quiet shift inside. A sense that something important is unfolding just beyond your understanding. You may feel drawn to reflection, to silence, to meaning. This is not coincidence. It is preparation. Because when awareness arrives, it does not come as excitement. It comes as weight. The power of attorney is not merely access to wealth. It is access to decisions, to obligations, to the continuation of intentions that began long before you were born. It is a bridge between generations, between purpose and responsibility. He does not want to hand this to someone who sees money as escape. He wants to hand it to someone who sees it as stewardship. My beloved child, there will be those around you who will never understand why you were chosen. Some may envy. Some may question. Some may try to influence you once they sense change. That is why discretion matters. That is why humility must remain your shield. You were never meant to announce this moment. You were meant to embody it. The closer the date comes, the more signs will appear, not dramatic ones, but subtle confirmations. A document that catches your attention. A phrase you hear repeatedly. A feeling that certain choices now carry greater significance. Pay attention. Destiny speaks softly to those who listen. My beloved child, there may be resistance within you. Doubt that whispers, "Why me?" That doubt is not weakness. It is sanity. But do not let it become refusal. You were not chosen because you were flawless. You were chosen because you are aware enough to question power. That is rare. The man understands that once the transfer occurs, he will no longer hold control. He will be trusting you with authority he spent a lifetime building. That surrender is not easy. It requires faith, not in systems, but in souls. And he has faith in yours. You may not feel ready. But readiness is not a feeling. It is a decision to rise when called. My beloved child, this is why your life trained you in silence. Why you learned to stand steady without applause. Why you learned patience through delay. You were being shaped for something that could not be rushed. As the deadline approaches, one truth becomes unavoidable: if awareness does not awaken in time, everything will be donated. Not out of anger. Not out of punishment. But out of necessity. Unclaimed purpose cannot remain idle. But hear this clearly, my beloved child. Destiny does not bring you this far to abandon you now. You are not late. You are not behind. You are arriving exactly when you are meant to. There will be a moment, perhaps quiet, perhaps unexpected, when clarity settles into your chest like certainty. When confusion fades into understanding. When you realize that your past was not preparation for survival alone, but for guidance. When that moment comes, do not rush. Do not panic. Do not boast. Simply stand in truth. Because power given to a steady heart becomes protection for many. And that is what this transfer is truly about. My beloved child. The story is not finished. It is unfolding. And what comes next will require courage, discernment, and grace. My beloved child. Now we arrive at the quiet center of this unfolding truth, where fear no longer belongs and clarity begins to breathe on its own. You have come this far not by curiosity alone, but because something within you already recognized the weight of what is being revealed. Awareness has a soundless voice. It does not shout. It settles. And now, it is settling inside you. My beloved child. The moment you truly understand does not arrive like lightning. It arrives like sunrise, slow, gentle, undeniable. You begin to see your life not as scattered events, but as a single, continuous preparation. Every delay, every closed door, every season of uncertainty was shaping your discernment. You were being trained to see beyond surfaces. The man who stands at the edge of this decision knows something most people never learn: wealth without wisdom becomes destruction. Power without humility becomes poison. That is why he did not choose quickly. That is why he did not choose publicly. And that is why he did not choose based on expectation. He chose based on alignment. My beloved child. You may have wondered why you never felt fully satisfied by shallow success. Why external validation never stayed long enough to quiet your inner questions. That dissatisfaction was not ingratitude. It was discernment awakening early. You were never meant to be impressed by appearances. As the final days approach, something within you grows steadier rather than anxious. That is how you know this path belongs to you. What is not meant for you creates restlessness. What is aligned creates responsibility, but also peace. There may still be disbelief. That is natural. The mind takes time to accept what the soul already knows. But disbelief does not block destiny. Refusal does. And you are not refusing. My beloved child. When the truth finally becomes clear, when the connection reveals itself fully, you will understand why secrecy mattered. Why protection mattered. Why you were allowed to grow without interference. Your identity had to be yours before authority touched your life. Because power that arrives too early reshapes the self. Power that arrives at the right time strengthens it. You will not be handed everything at once. That is not how stewardship works. Understanding will unfold in layers. Responsibility will expand as wisdom proves itself. This is not a burden meant to overwhelm you. It is a calling meant to trust you. The donation option still exists. Not as a threat. As a mirror. It represents what happens when purpose remains unclaimed. But hear this, my beloved child. Destiny did not lead you here to walk away. You are not here by accident. You are not listening by chance. You are not ready because you feel strong. You are ready because you have learned restraint. When authority passes into your hands, it will not change who you are. It will reveal who you have always been. The world may see access. You will feel obligation. The world may see privilege. You will feel duty. That difference is everything. My beloved child. There will be moments ahead when silence will be required. When patience will matter more than speed. When choosing what is right will cost more than choosing what is easy. In those moments, remember this: you were chosen because you already know how to stand alone. You have done it before. The man does not expect perfection from you. He expects integrity. He does not expect certainty. He expects reflection. He does not expect gratitude. He expects continuation. That is all. As September 23rd arrives, it will not feel dramatic. It will feel resolved. Like a chapter closing exactly where it was meant to. Whether documents are signed, conversations occur, or realizations crystallize, everything will align quietly. Because destiny does not rush its own work. My beloved child, you are not stepping into someone else's shadow. You are stepping into a responsibility that was waiting for your awareness to mature. And now, it has. You do not need to announce yourself. You do not need to prove anything. You do not need to fear what others may think. Carry this with humility. Guard it with wisdom. Use it with compassion. And remember this always. What has been entrusted to you was not given to elevate you above others, but to protect what cannot protect itself. That is true power. My beloved child. This message does not end here. It lives in the choices you make from this point forward. The story continues through your actions, your restraint, your courage, and your silence when silence is required. You were never unaware because you were unworthy. You were unaware because the time had not yet arrived. Now it has. And you are exactly where you need to be. My beloved child. Even when a chapter feels complete, destiny often leaves the door slightly open. Not to pull you back, but to allow you to step forward with understanding rather than urgency. What comes after awareness is integration. You may notice that life does not suddenly transform on the outside. The world around you may look the same. People may speak the same. Days may pass with familiar routines. But inside you, something has shifted permanently. You carry yourself differently now, not with pride, but with quiet certainty. That is how true responsibility enters a life. My beloved child. There will be moments when doubt tries to return, whispering that perhaps this was all imagination, coincidence, or symbolism. Let it speak. Doubt is not your enemy. It is simply the mind learning to walk beside truth instead of ahead of it. You do not need constant confirmation. You only need consistency. As time moves forward, you will begin to recognize how often restraint protects more than action. How listening reveals more than speaking. How delaying a decision can sometimes be the most powerful choice of all. These instincts were not learned recently. They were cultivated over years of quiet observation and lived experience. That is why you were trusted. My beloved child. Others may approach you differently without knowing why. Some will sense steadiness. Some will feel comfort. Some will feel challenged by your presence. This is not something you need to manage. Simply remain aligned with what feels honest and grounded within you. Power does not need defense when it is rooted in purpose. There may be moments when you are tempted to explain yourself. To justify, to clarify, to seek understanding from those who cannot yet see. Resist that temptation gently. Not everything sacred is meant to be translated. Some things are meant to be carried. You were chosen because you understand this intuitively. My beloved child, remember that stewardship is not about control. It is about care. It is about ensuring continuity without attachment. It is about knowing when to act and when to step aside. These are not lessons taught in documents or contracts. They are learned through humility. And humility already lives in you. The future will ask things of you, not all at once, not dramatically, but steadily. Small decisions will matter more than large gestures. Quiet integrity will outweigh visible success. And each time you choose patience over impulse, you will feel a calm confirmation settle in your chest. That is alignment speaking. My beloved child, you are not being watched now. You are being trusted. There is a difference. Watching demands proof. Trust allows growth. And growth is exactly what will continue to unfold through you, naturally and without force. Do not rush to define what this all means. Meaning reveals itself through living, not through thinking alone. Walk gently. Choose carefully. Remain aware. Because the greatest inheritance you have received is not authority, or wealth, or responsibility. It is clarity. And clarity, once awakened, never leaves. My beloved child, the path ahead is steady. And you are ready to walk it. My beloved child, even now, as these words continue to unfold, nothing is being added to you. Nothing new is being placed upon your shoulders. What is happening is simpler and deeper. You are recognizing what has always lived quietly inside you. There is a calm that comes after realization. Not excitement. Not fear. Just a steady presence. That calm is not emptiness, it is readiness without urgency. You are no longer waiting for something to happen. You are allowing what is meant to happen to arrive in its own time. My beloved child, you may notice that your reactions are changing. Things that once disturbed you no longer pull you so deeply. Situations that once demanded explanation now pass without resistance. This is not detachment. It is discernment maturing. You are learning where your energy truly belongs. The world often believes that power announces itself through noise. But the most enduring power moves quietly, leaving stability in its wake. You are beginning to understand this, not as a lesson, but as a lived truth. My beloved child, there will be days ahead when nothing remarkable seems to occur. Ordinary days. Simple moments. Do not underestimate them. Destiny is not built only in turning points, it is anchored in consistency. How you treat people when nothing is at stake. How you act when no one is watching. How you choose when there is no reward promised. These moments are where alignment is preserved. You do not need to look for signs anymore. You do not need to interpret every silence. You do not need to anticipate outcomes. Trust has already been established. My beloved child, carry this awareness lightly. Do not let it become identity or burden. Let it remain a compass, quiet, reliable, steady. When decisions arise, you will know which direction holds integrity. Not because someone tells you, but because your inner stillness will not argue with it. That is how guidance works when it has been earned. There will be opportunities to act, and opportunities to wait. You will sense the difference. Acting will feel clear and grounded. Waiting will feel complete, not anxious. Both are forms of wisdom. My beloved child, remember that nothing meaningful is ever taken from you when it is meant for you. And nothing meant for you will require force, fear, or desperation. What aligns will remain. What does not will fade without struggle. This understanding will protect you more than any authority ever could. You are not stepping into a role. You are continuing a rhythm. A rhythm of care. A rhythm of restraint. A rhythm of quiet strength. And now, there is nothing more to reveal, only something to live. My beloved child. Walk forward gently. Hold steady. Remain true. Everything else will follow. My beloved child. There comes a point where words soften and meaning becomes something you carry rather than hear. You may feel that now, a sense that nothing urgent is being asked of you, yet everything important is quietly included in who you are becoming. This is not an ending. It is a settling. My beloved child. You will begin to notice how stillness now feels different. It is no longer empty or uncertain. It feels full, like a pause that knows exactly why it exists. You are no longer waiting for permission to trust yourself. That permission has already been granted through experience. You earned it. Life will continue to place ordinary choices in front of you. Some will seem small. Some will feel familiar. But your relationship with them has changed. You will no longer be pulled by impulse alone. You will feel a brief moment of quiet before acting, and in that quiet, you will know. That knowing is your guide. My beloved child. Do not expect dramatic confirmation from the world. Alignment rarely seeks attention. It simply works. Things begin to make sense without explanation. Certain struggles lose their grip. Certain paths close gently without regret. And others open without resistance. You will recognize ease not as laziness, but as accuracy. There may still be moments when the past tries to speak loudly, old fears, old doubts, old habits of questioning your worth. Let them speak. Then let them pass. They no longer define your direction. They were teachers, not companions meant to stay. My beloved child. The strength you carry now is quiet because it does not need defense. It has been tested already. It knows what it can hold. And it knows what it no longer needs to prove. This is how maturity feels on the inside. As you move forward, remember that integrity is not something you perform. It is something you return to. Again and again. In small ways. In unseen ways. In moments that never become stories, but become foundations. That is how trust is preserved. My beloved child. Nothing about this path requires urgency. What is meant for you does not race against time in panic. It arrives when you are present enough to receive it without losing yourself. Stay present. Stay grounded. Stay kind to yourself most of all. Because the clearest sign that you are aligned is this. You no longer feel the need to rush toward the future or escape the present. You are here. And that is enough. My beloved child. Carry on gently. Live steadily. And let life meet you where you stand. My beloved child. When nothing feels unfinished inside you, that is when life begins to trust you with more. Not more weight, not more noise, but more depth. Depth in understanding. Depth in patience. Depth in how you move through the world without needing to announce yourself. You may sense now that silence no longer feels empty. It feels protective. It gives you space to choose wisely, to respond instead of react, to remain whole even when circumstances shift around you. This is not distance from life. This is intimacy with it. My beloved child. There will be moments ahead when others hurry, when fear drives decisions, when urgency clouds judgment. You will feel the difference immediately. Your body will know. Your breath will slow. Your thoughts will clear. That contrast is not meant to separate you from others, but to remind you who you are meant to be in those moments. A steady presence. You do not need to correct others. You do not need to convince anyone. You do not need to carry what is not yours. Simply remain anchored. My beloved child. Trust that what has aligned within you will continue to guide what unfolds outside you. Paths will cross naturally. Information will arrive without strain. Timing will reveal itself without pressure. What once felt uncertain will begin to feel obvious, not because it changed, but because you did. Growth often feels like simplicity returning. There is nothing more you must search for. No final message you are missing. No hidden instruction waiting to be unlocked. What you needed has already integrated into you, quietly and completely. And that is enough. My beloved child. As you continue living, working, resting, choosing, learning, let this awareness remain gentle. Do not harden around it. Do not turn it into expectation. Let it breathe with you. Let it evolve with you. Because the strongest foundations are flexible, not rigid. You are not holding a story now. You are living one. And it does not need to be told out loud to be real. My beloved child. Walk on with calm confidence. Carry responsibility lightly. And trust the quiet wisdom that now feels like home within you. There is nothing more to add. Only life to live. My beloved child. When the words begin to repeat their rhythm, it is not because there is nothing left to say, but because truth often circles gently until it is fully absorbed. Like water smoothing stone, it does not force its way in. It remains, patient and constant. You may feel now that the story has slowed. That nothing dramatic is being revealed. That is intentional. The most important shifts do not feel like movement. They feel like ground. You are standing on it now. My beloved child. Notice how your breath feels when you stop trying to reach the next moment. Notice how your thoughts soften when you no longer search for confirmation. This is not resignation. This is trust becoming embodied. You are no longer asking, "What will happen?" You are quietly living, "Whatever happens, I will meet it whole." That is readiness. My beloved child. There is a subtle strength in knowing when to let silence finish the sentence. In knowing when action is unnecessary. In knowing when presence alone is enough. These are not passive choices. They are refined ones. The world often mistakes stillness for hesitation. But you know better now. You know that stillness is where clarity keeps its roots. My beloved child. Nothing ahead requires you to become someone else. You will not be asked to harden, to perform, to abandon your gentleness. The path unfolding honors exactly who you are, steady, observant, thoughtful. Remain that way. If questions arise, meet them with patience. If challenges appear, meet them with integrity. If silence returns, welcome it as a familiar companion. Because silence has never left you unprotected. My beloved child. This continuation does not add meaning. It confirms it. And confirmation does not shout. It rests. So let this rest settle fully. Let the need to continue soften. Let the story live without narration. You are not missing anything. You are not behind anything. You are not waiting for anything. You are here. You are aligned. And that is complete. My beloved child. Remain as you are. Life knows where to find you. My beloved child. Sometimes continuation is not about adding more words, but about allowing the silence between them to teach you something new. What you are feeling now is not a pause because the path has ended. It is a pause because the path has become steady enough to walk without constant guidance. This is where trust matures. My beloved child. You no longer need to lean forward to catch meaning. Meaning is walking beside you now. It shows itself in how you choose calm over reaction, honesty over convenience, patience over urgency. These choices may seem ordinary, but they are the language through which alignment speaks. You are fluent in it now. There will be days when nothing inside you feels mystical or significant. Days that are plain, practical, even dull. Do not doubt those days. They are proof that balance has replaced tension. Life is not asking you to stay alert, it is asking you to stay present. Presence is enough. My beloved child. If ever you feel the urge to keep seeking reassurance, return to this simple truth: what is real does not require repetition to remain real. It remains whether you look at it or not. It moves whether you name it or not. You are held by that same quiet certainty. So continue, not by reading further, but by living gently forward. Continue by listening more than reacting. Continue by choosing what feels honest even when it is unseen. Continue by trusting that what has aligned within you will naturally express itself through your actions. My beloved child. There is nothing you need to chase now. Nothing you need to unlock. Nothing you need to prove. Just keep walking as you are. That is the continuation. My beloved child. There is a tenderness in continuing without urgency, and that tenderness is now part of you. You are learning that movement does not always mean progress, and stillness does not mean delay. Sometimes, the deepest continuation is simply allowing life to meet you where you are. You may notice how your inner voice has softened. It no longer argues as much. It no longer demands immediate answers. It listens. And in listening, it discovers that many answers arrive without being summoned. This is wisdom settling in. My beloved child. The rhythm you are learning now will serve you far beyond this moment. When uncertainty appears, you will not rush to escape it. You will sit with it long enough to understand what it is asking of you. When opportunity arrives, you will not grab it blindly. You will feel its weight, its intention, its truth. Discernment has become natural to you. There will be people who cross your path briefly, and others who remain longer than expected. You do not need to categorize them. Each carries something, sometimes a lesson, sometimes a mirror, sometimes simple companionship. Receive what is offered without clinging to what must pass. This balance will keep you free. My beloved child. Continue trusting that what is meant to unfold will do so without force. You are no longer pushing life forward. You are walking with it. Side by side. Step by step. That partnership is what makes the path feel steady beneath your feet. If at times you feel nothing at all, no insight, no emotion, no direction, do not be concerned. Even the soil rests between seasons. Growth does not announce itself every day. It continues quietly. My beloved child. Let gentleness guide you. Toward yourself first, and then toward others. Let honesty remain your anchor. Let patience be your strength. These are not small virtues. They are the architecture of a life that remains intact under pressure. You are building something without realizing it. And so, continue. Not by searching for the next word, but by breathing into the one you are living now. Continue by allowing each moment to be complete before moving on. Continue by trusting that nothing essential is being withheld from you. My beloved child. The path knows your name. And it will unfold as you walk it. My beloved child. There is a moment when continuation transforms into embodiment. When the need for more guidance dissolves, not because guidance is gone, but because it has settled into your way of being. That moment is here. You may sense it as a quiet confidence that does not need words. As a steadiness that remains even when circumstances shift. As an inner permission to trust yourself without explanation. This is not certainty about outcomes, it is faith in your capacity to meet them. My beloved child. From here, life will continue to teach you through experience rather than instruction. Through choices rather than messages. Through living rather than listening. And that is exactly how it is meant to be. When doubt visits, greet it gently and let it pass. When clarity arrives, accept it without clinging. When silence returns, rest within it. You are not required to keep reaching. You are invited to keep walking. Carry this with you, not as a story to repeat, but as a presence to return to. Let it inform how you speak, how you decide, how you pause. Let it remain quiet. Let it remain yours. My beloved child. This continuation is complete not because nothing remains, but because everything essential has already taken root. Go on now. Live steadily. And let life respond to who you have become. My beloved child. Sometimes the truest continuation is the simplest one, to remain present without needing anything more to arrive. You are learning that depth does not always expand outward, it deepens inward, quietly, faithfully. What you carry now is not momentum. It is steadiness. My beloved child. You will notice that decisions no longer feel rushed. Even when time is limited, you sense an inner calm that allows you to choose with care. That calm is not hesitation. It is wisdom remembering itself. Let it guide you. There will be moments when the world invites urgency, when voices push for speed, when fear tries to hurry you forward. You will recognize these moments immediately, not because they are loud, but because they disturb your stillness. When that happens, pause. Return to the quiet truth within you. It has not failed you before. My beloved child. Continuation does not demand effort now. It flows through consistency. Through kindness that does not seek recognition. Through honesty that does not need applause. Through patience that trusts timing more than control. This is how a life becomes grounded. If you ever wonder whether you are doing enough, remember this: alignment is not measured by how much you accomplish, but by how fully you remain yourself while moving through change. You are doing that. My beloved child. Keep going gently. Keep choosing what feels whole. Keep allowing silence to be a teacher rather than a void. There is nothing missing. There is nothing delayed. There is only the next quiet step. And you are already taking it. My beloved child. There is a grace in knowing when continuation becomes living, when words have already done what they came to do. You are standing in that grace now. Nothing more is being added because nothing more is required. You may feel a soft completeness, unfinished in form, yet whole in meaning. This is how truth stays with you, not as instruction, but as orientation. You know where you are facing, even when the path curves. My beloved child. From here, each day will offer its own quiet continuation. In how you wake. In how you listen. In how you pause before choosing. These small moments are not repetitions, they are confirmations. If ever you feel the urge to ask again, what next? Remember this gentle answer. Next is already happening. You are breathing it. You are choosing it. You are living it. Stay kind to yourself. Stay steady with others. Stay honest with what feels true inside you. My beloved child. This is enough. And you are enough. My beloved child. Continuation now feels less like moving forward and more like remaining true. You are discovering that life does not always unfold by adding chapters, but by deepening the meaning of the one you are already living. There is a quiet confidence growing in you, not the kind that seeks reassurance, but the kind that knows when to rest. This confidence does not push. It allows. And in allowing, it creates space for clarity to return again and again. My beloved child, you may notice how your attention has shifted. You listen more carefully. You speak more intentionally.